And although we are a small team, we are mighty. We've been helping Alberta since 1996 grow and create their businesses. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without the funding support of the governments of Alberta and Canada. And even though right now everything is looking a little different, at the core, we're still the same. We're still fostering successful entrepreneurs and supporting entrepreneurs in the community. So through this COVID-19 pandemic, we are still available to help you if you need support. So always feel free to reach out. All right, let's dive in here. So understanding Facebook ads. Facebook ads gives you the opportunity to market to a diverse group of people without being a marketing expert or spending a fortune. So it is a platform that was developed for everyday Facebook users. So you don't have to be an expert to understand Facebook ads. I will say it's a little overwhelming at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's really quite easy to use. So you don't need to have a marketing degree to have a successful ad campaign on Facebook. It's really user-friendly, and we're going to walk through exactly how to use this ad platform later. But Facebook ads is probably one of the most powerful advertising tools on the market right now because of how accessible it is. It can reach up to 1.6 billion people who are connected to small businesses on their Facebook pages. The key to having a successful Facebook ad is knowing who you want to target and ensuring that you have a strong target market, which we talked a little bit about in week 1 if you were able to tune into that presentation. But knowing your target market will help make your ads much more successful. All right, so for the benefits of Facebook ads include that they're powerful. So as we mentioned, Facebook ads is a powerful tool that allows you to reach a fairly vast audience without hiring an ad company, which can be extremely expensive. They're customizable. So you have the power to customize everything within your Facebook ads, from your audience to what exactly you're targeting, as in, are you targeting brand awareness, reach, clicks? We're going to go through this a little bit more. It is super affordable. So you get to control how much you're going to spend. You can set your ad budget and then it's spent entirely up to you. So you never have to worry about, a $1,000 ad bill. You can just set it up to exactly how much you have to spend. And you have full creative control of your ads. So one of the great things about using Facebook ads is that you can easily integrate between platforms and have control over where your ads are used, including using them on your Instagram account. So although we're not going to go into this today, once you have the hang of Facebook ads, you'll be able to easily integrate them onto Instagram. So as you can see here, on the left, we have an Instagram ad, and this on the right, we have the same Facebook ad. So Movement is using their ads on both platforms so that they can reach a wide variety of customers. You also have the capability to show your ads on multiple devices, so that you either are hitting your mobile users or your desktop users. This integration makes it easy to run multiple ads while maintaining consistency of your brand. I recommend starting with Facebook and then moving into Instagram once you're comfortable with Facebook ads platform, because starting all at once can be a little overwhelming. So if you just start with the one platform first, master that, and then you can move into adding onto Instagram as well. So there are 9 steps that go into creating a Facebook ad. I know it seems a little bit daunting, but it's truly not. So you're going to develop your strategy, choose your objective, choose your target audience, choose your placement, set your budget, choose the format. You don't want to forget any details, and then you're going to monitor and measure your ads. So to go deeper into this. So developing your strategy for your campaign is the first step. You need to ask yourself, what product or service am I specifically promoting? Who am I targeting? Will they be a cold audience or a warm audience? How will they use the product? What is their pain point and what objections will they have? What stage of the marketing funnel are they in? What is the goal of the campaign? Do I want leads or brand awareness, site traffic? For example, here we have Dollar Shave Club. So they are cleverly targeting women in this ad by showcasing that they have products for both men and women. It doesn't matter. We all use the same razors. They don't have to be pink to be for women, but it's not only going to attract men, but it's also going to attract women because it's showcasing that they have something for everyone. So step 2, choose your objective. So at the top of the funnel is awareness. So this is really just showcasing who your brand is to people. So brand awareness, increasing those who know about your small business brand. This is not used to get people to click through or purchase. And then reach, hitting as many people as you possibly can with that ad. In the second column here, we have consideration. This is more the middle of the funnel. So considering using these to reach people who have interest in what you have to offer and who may want to discover more information. Traffic brings traffic to your website or Facebook page. Engagement is when you want likes, comments, or reactions on your ad. App installs is objective is to have people download your app if you have one. Video views is to get as many views as possible. Lead generation is when you want to generate leads or call to actions from your Facebook page. Messages is when you want people to message you on Facebook. And then in the last column there, we have conversions. So these are towards the bottom of the funnel, and they should be used when you want people to register or download or purchase or visit your store. So this is really where sales would happen, is if in that conversion section. With conversations, this should be used when you're having a lot of conversations each week with customers. And then Facebook can actually take that data and attract more conversations using that ad. So this would be kind of further into once you're using your ad account, once Facebook has some good data to go off of. And then you have catalog sales. So this will push sales of a specific catalog. You can actually upload your entire catalog and people can see. You might see that with clothing stores on Facebook, where you can actually click through and see a bunch of different pictures of tops or whatever they're selling. And then store visits encourages targeted audience to visit your online store. So if you think about it, this is where you're just building your brand, this is where you're growing your brand, and this is where you want people to really commit to you. Step 3, your target audience. So this is what we talked about in week 1, but as a quick overview, your target audience is a specific group of people you want to reach with your marketing. They're the people most likely to buy your products or services, and they are typically united by common characteristics such as their demographics, geographics, psychographics, or sociographics. If you want more info on that, Kate can definitely send you that presentation from week 1 if you didn't get a chance to tune into that. But with Facebook, you can use your custom audiences and lookalike audiences to ensure that you're hitting that target audience consistently. All right, step 4, choosing your placement. So there's a lot of places you can put your ads, but we're going to talk about the 3 main places. There are more options such as Instagram or video ads, but first we'll just talk about these. So the first place is on your feed. So this is only on desktop devices. This is the feed where your posts by your friends and family appear. So the ad would just kind of show up right in the middle there as people are scrolling through that feed. On the right column, you might recognize would show only on this side. There's lots of ad content on the right side of Facebook, and that would kind of show the ad in its true form, how you designed it. And then on mobile, this would appear on mobile Facebook applications. So the one you have on your phone. This is a higher likelihood of people seeing your ad because for the most part, people use Facebook mobile. Step 5, setting your budget. So for this next step, you'll be able to choose your budget, schedule your ads, and select your optimization method. You can choose a lifetime budget or a daily budget, and you can either have your ads run indefinitely or be scheduled on a start and end date. You can also use scheduling to have your ads only run at certain days and times of the week. So for example, if you have business hours, you can have your ads set to only run through those business hours so customers can contact you. At this stage, you can also choose how you want to optimize your ads, but Facebook has things automatically set up, and I recommend going with that automatic setup at first before you have more understanding to do things a little bit more manually. Like we mentioned, one of the great things about Facebook ads is that they're budget friendly. So you decide how much you want to spend and you don't have to go over that. Choose your format. So there are several incredible ad formats on Facebook, and you can choose from single image ads, video ads, carousel ads, canvas ads, collections. There's no one ad that is better than another in a sense. So just choose what's going to really showcase your product best.
Carrie, do you mind if I add something to that?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so videos perform quite well on Facebook compared to static images. And if you have some time to do a little bit of exploring and you have, let's say, 4 or 5 kind of product images that you have that are fairly high quality, you can use a tool within Facebook to actually build a little video. And all you have to do is upload those images, and then it'll give you options to add text to it too. And that whole process is very easy. It's quite intuitive. And so Facebook will run you through that process step by step. And then you can turn a few static images into a really quick and easy video.
Yeah, and like Shay said, videos perform really well on Facebook. So a lot of times people will stop quicker for ads like that. All right, step 7, choosing your format. So this is really the creative section of your ads, but at the bottom, there are a lot of small details you don't want to miss, such as where you can put your copy, so what you want your ads to say, as long as links and URL descriptions. The more thorough you are in this section, the better, as you want to ensure that you're creating an ad that will target as many people as possible within your target market. And this section really helps create that call to action. Step 8, monitor and measure. Could be the most important step. You want to see how your ads are performing. So you want to monitor what you're advertising so that you can ensure you're being successful. You don't want to just be kind of throwing that money out the window. You want it to actually be doing some good and reaching your target audience. So with your monitoring, it will show you who's seeing your ads, the engagement, the clicks, basically everything you need to know about how that ad is performing. And then Facebook Ads Manager is a super easy platform to do this because it showcases exactly what you need to see. And you can also use Facebook Business Manager to kind of keep everything in one place. It helps you see if something is performing not as you would hope so that you can make those adjustments to have it perform a little bit better. So Facebook Pixel. We're not going to go super deep into Facebook Pixel, but there's a lot of information on Facebook for setting up your Pixel. Facebook Pixel is a code that you place on your website, and what it does is it collects data that helps you track conversions from Facebook ads and build targeted audiences for future ads. So it works by placing and triggering cookies to track users as they interact with your website and your Facebook ads. The Facebook Pixel provides important information you can use to create those better Facebook ads and better target your ads. Facebook tracking pixel data helps ensure your ads are seen by the people who are most likely to take your desired action. And this allows you to improve your Facebook ad conversion rate. Even if you aren't using Facebook Pixel, you should set it up now so that it can start collecting data for when you do want to use it.
Carrie, we have a couple of questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there is a tool as you're moving through creating an ad. I recommend starting to create your ad through the business. If you go business.facebook.com, the business manager, it's fairly intuitive. So when it's time to kind of add your image or video, Facebook will walk you through that process. Eddie's asking, what if your advertising is geared to other businesses and not individuals? Is there a way to target other businesses?
Not specifically.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
So you can target people with specific interests though, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're, for example, at BusinessLink, we're really trying to serve small businesses and entrepreneurs. So when we're creating ads, we'll walk through this later, but you can create an audience that consists of people whose interests are small business, entrepreneurship, business. So that in that sense, you can target people who are maybe in business because those would be their interests. And then another question from Rachel. What is the best campaign to use, not engagement? My target is reaching IT companies in the UK whom service banks, municipalities, etc.
So you would probably want to maybe be in that conversion section. I'll see what you think, Shay, too, because you really have that call to action. You want people to go, or these people to probably go right to your website. So you'd be mostly focused in that conversion section of the funnel there. And I have a video coming up next that kind of walks through how to set up a Facebook ad a little more clearly. So when you're clicking through building your ad, you will see that each of the different types of objectives, they do show you what each one will do for you. Yeah, call to action conversion. All right, so we're gonna keep going here. So creating an ad. I'm just going to pull this up. Shay, can you see that?
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's playing yet, Carrie.
It's not playing for you?
No.
Okay, let me make sure it's sharing the right screen here. 1 second. Okay. Share.
There we go.
Good.
Yeah.
So I don't know why the sound isn't playing. I'm not sure what's going on there. But what I'll do is I'll add this video to what we're sending out after the presentation, and then you can all see it. It will have sound when you see it. I'm not sure why it's not doing it right now. My apologies, but we will, yeah, we will send it out with the presentation for you guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so we'll go back to here and we'll continue on, and then maybe I can figure out what's going on with the video by the end. So I'm gonna let Shay take over here on boosting posts. And yeah, let Shay take over. If you have any questions, we can answer those as we go.
Great. Okay. So if you're not necessarily ready to get right into creating an ad from beginning to end, boosting your posts is a really good place to start. It's kind of, it feels a little bit less commitment, if you will. So let me just open up the presentation on my end because I have a couple of notes here. Great. So boosting posts really is the simplest way to kind of advertise on Facebook. And it involves taking an existing post, so a post that you already have on your feed, and it can be anything, right? You can post a photo of your product and boost that later. You can post a video of you explaining what your services are and boost that. So it really can be any post that's on your page. And you can also boost events. So if within your business you host, let's say, workshops or events as part of your offerings, you can also boost those events so that more people know about it. So to increase your reach or increase awareness about your events. It is a great tool in that sense as well. So, Carrie, you can move on to the next one. Why boost a post? Again, increasing your reach. We know that with the algorithms in on Facebook, we know that the people that follow your page don't always see your posts in their feed. So organic reach is constantly decreasing. There's only about 2 to 6%, and that's an estimate based on some studies, but only about 2 to 6% of people that are following your business page, so who have given you that thumbs up, that like, are going to see your posts in their feed. Basically, the Facebook algorithm has identified that you want, or assume that you want to see content from your friends and family more so than you want to see content from businesses or more of those kind of sponsored posts. So boosting a post is a really good way to get into their feeds. You can reach a wider audience. It's really easy to do. And then you have access to analytics. So you can see kind of who was looking at your post, who clicked it, how many people clicked it, what were the demographics of the people that your post reached or that were interested in it. And this is a really good place to come back and sort of test who your target market is, right? You may have joined us for the first webinar, or maybe you've done some work on really clearly identifying who your target market is or your ideal client. And once you start to look at the analytics behind your Facebook page, and I think we're going into that next week in detail a little bit, but once you start to look into the insights section or the analytics, you'll start to see who your content is actually resonating with, right? Maybe you meant to target women who are between 25 and 50 years old, who live in Alberta, but when you go and look at your insights or analytics, it's actually mostly men who, you know, live in the US that are looking at your content. So then that's a good opportunity to kind of look back and go, oh, is my content resonating with the right people? Or maybe I need to take a look at shifting who my target market is. So boosted posts and ads are a good way to be able to kind of analyze that in a different way as well. Audience. So this process is very similar to the process for creating an ad. You kind of go through some similar steps. So audience, determining your target audience. The way that you can target people on Facebook is really, you can get very, very specific, right? So you can choose a university in Calgary and just choose to target people within a 5-kilometer radius or a 5-mile radius of that university. So very, very specific. Or maybe you live in rural Alberta, and many of you probably do. You live in rural Alberta, you can target people within a certain radius of the community that you're working in. You can target all of Alberta. So you can get really, really specific on age and demographics and location. So that it's a really powerful, powerful tool in that way. You can even search by interests. So what are people interested in? If there's a big enough company that is your competition, you can choose to target people who follow that company's page or have liked that company's page. Budget, so you really do control how much you spend. You can go as low as $1 a day. I do recommend spending more than that. So I would recommend starting in the range of like $5 to $15 a day. That way, because essentially when you're running these ads, you are competing against other companies and businesses that are running ads. So if you can spend a little bit more, the chances of your boosted post or your ads being seen is much higher. How much you spend will impact how many people you reach. And so you'll see it that when you're moving through this process and moving through the budget section, and I think I have a screenshot in here later, but when you're moving through the budget section, you'll see that as you increase your spend, the number of people that you could potentially reach increases quite a lot. So just keeping note of that. And then duration. So you can run your ad for a fixed period of time, whether it's a single day or a week or a month or a couple of days, or you can actually just have your boosted post or your ad running for ever until you actually manually go in and stop it. So the steps in boosting a post, we've got about 8 steps. Choose a post or event that you want to boost. You can even boost a post during the process of creating a post, if that makes sense. So when you create a post, it'll say in the bottom kind of right-hand corner, boost. And so you can boost it kind of right out the gate as soon as you publish that post. Choose a goal. We kind of already went through this. What's your goal? I think a good place to start is that brand awareness or that reach piece. It's a little bit less complicated, and really you're just trying to get the word out there about your business. Choose a button. So this is where on Facebook ads you see learn more or shop now, and you don't have to choose a button. You can go buttonless if you will. But it could be a good idea if you have a very specific place you want them to go to use one of those buttons, and you can add a specific URL or website link that you want it to direct them to. So we have a question come in. When your boosted post ends and they ask if you want to add more money and boost again, does it send it to different people than it already has or start over again with a target audience? So I would say that if you're boosting it again, it is going to increase your reach beyond who you've already reached. Right, Carrie? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Choose your audience, set a budget, choose your placement. For the most part, especially once you begin, you can just let Facebook do the work on that side. So just let them choose placements based on where their algorithms think it's best to have them. And it does some really cool stuff behind the scenes where if Facebook recognizes that your boosted post is doing better in one place than another, it will keep it will allocate more of the budget for that in the place it's performing well. Link to your Facebook pixel. If you have a website, I highly recommend linking your Facebook pixel, because what you can do in that case is set up what we call a lookalike audience. Also, tip, the representatives that Facebook have to support businesses and individuals who have a Facebook ad manager account. So they actually have representatives that you can schedule a phone call with to go over creating an ad from beginning to end or to answer any questions that you have. And I recommend taking advantage of those because they're free and they might push you to spend a little bit more money than you want to. Just ignore it. If that's not your budget, just say, yeah, sure, I'll do that, and just spend whatever you want to spend. But it's a really good resource I don't think enough people take advantage of. So link to your Facebook pixel, that way you can set a lookalike audience. So what that means is that let's say that you have a lot of traffic to your website or you have a decent amount of traffic to your website. As soon as you have enough, Facebook will let you create a lookalike audience, which means that it will allow you to target people who have similar characteristics or demographics to the people already visiting your website. So it's more likely that they'll be interested in your product or service. If you want to reach 2 audiences, do I have to do 2 boosts? Yes. So you can only specify one audience with one boosted post or ad. And then boost and monitor. So watch how it's performing, and you can always pause it and make a bit of an adjustment so that maybe it's targeting the right people. You can increase the budget or decrease the budget. Maybe it's not performing well at all. Another really important thing to remember, if you have a post that is performing really well organically, you post something and it's kind of blowing up, people are loving it, they're sharing it, commenting on it, boost those posts. It's a really good idea to start with boosting posts that are already performing well, right? You know that it's going to be successful because sometimes you can boost a post that if you're boosting a post that isn't performing well in hopes that more people will see it, chances are it won't perform well once it's boosted anyways, because it really does show up in the feed kind of the same way. All right, so choosing a boost to post, I kind of already covered this, but you can choose an existing post or draft a post to boost as soon as published. Or again, you can boost an event. So it's something that we do at BusinessLink quite often, is that we will boost our events to get more awareness of what we're doing, webinars and Ask an Expert sessions. So just to increase awareness of what we're doing in terms of events. And that's really easy. So if you go to your events page on Facebook, it's just the blue button, it says boost event. And it's the same process as boosting a post. Choose a goal. I like get more engagement as kind of a baseline. If you have a website and you want to get more purchases on a specific item, maybe you've shifted your business to create some masks, you can also do that. Get more messages, get people to message you, like Carrie said. Choose a button. Again, you don't actually have to choose a button. You can if you want. If you don't have a website, you can there's just an option for no button at the top there.
I just wanted to add something to this, Shay, that you kind of pointed out. The great thing about choosing engagement when you're boosting a post is that the more posts or the more engagement you have on your post, the more it's going to show up in your followers' feeds. So if you use engagement as your boost, your boosting goal, then when you're not boosting a post, it'll show up more in people's feeds because you have higher engagement.
Totally. So the algorithm goes, oh, hey, this business page's stuff is really relevant and people really like it. So we're going to show it to more people, right? So you organically show up and you'll show up more, your boosted posts will show up more, but also your organic posts will show up more. So good point, Carrie. Anytime you can get more engagement, I think, on any social platform, because, you know, Instagram is the same thing, right? You want to get more engagement so that the algorithm recognizes your content as being more valuable to your viewers or your followers. You know, that's why oftentimes you'll see kind of the post that says, you know, give me a high five in the comments, high five emoji in the comments if you like this, or, you know, what are you doing today? Because really with these posts, if you get more people commenting on it, liking, sharing it, Facebook again goes that, you know, that account's content is really valuable and people want to see it. So audience, again, you can set up your audiences. It's people who like your page, people who like your page and their friends. Again, these, it might seem kind of odd to be boosting a post so that people who like your page see it. But again, 2 to 6% of people who are following you will see your posts organically in their feed. So this just means that the people who are actually following you will see more of what you're posting. And when you're ready for it, I do recommend creating some of those more custom audiences based on your specific demographics, or once you're ready to create that lookalike audience. Duration and budget. Great thing about Facebook boosted posts is that they're budget friendly. You decide how much you want to spend. Your budget for Facebook, again, like Carrie said, can be anything you want it to be, right? Anything that really works for your business. And measure the ROI on this, right? Measure the return on investment, because it can be really valuable, right? If you're boosting posts and creating ads and more people are seeing it, you're getting more customers, it's worth spending that extra money. Can you set your audience as business pages? No.
No.
You cannot. So unfortunately, and when you have a business page, you don't have a specific feed for that business page, right? So from that business page, you don't like, you have to have a personal account to even have a business page, right? So you wouldn't necessarily show up in a business page's feed anyways, but again, you can use that interests piece, right? So target people who have interest in small business, entrepreneurship. Maybe there's a specific sort of business that you want to target, and then it'll target maybe the business owners within that market. Great, choose your placement. Facebook Messenger, Instagram. Oftentimes it'll just, when you're creating an ad, it's a little bit different. It'll allow you to have auto placement. So again, choosing the algorithm will kind of determine where you will get the most bang for your buck, if you will, with your ads, and choose an automatically place your ads there. But here you can really choose whatever you want. If you have an Instagram page, it's not a bad idea to also have your ad or your boosted post running on Instagram. However, be very careful about how it's formatted, right? Because if you have an extra wide kind of Facebook post, which might look fine in a Facebook feed, and then it's going onto Instagram, it will probably cut it off kind of funny, especially if it's going in stories as well. The formatting might not look great. Link your pixel. If you have a pixel, link it, because then you can target people who you know already like your business and who your kind of message or content resonates with already, sorry.
And we can include the link that I have that's step-by-step of how to link your pixel and create your pixel. It was a lot to go into in this presentation, and it's a lot of information. It kind of takes a few read-throughs to really understand. So we'll send that with the slides so you guys can kind of go through that process as well if you haven't already.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you already work with a company who, a developer or a marketing company that has built your website and manages it for you, it should be very easy for them to set up a pixel for you. Otherwise, I mean, I've done it myself with a website that I've managed previously, and it's quite simple.
Yeah, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second, and then I'll just go in quickly and run through how to go set up an ad, since we have some time without the video, but we'll still send you the video so you can refer to it. I'm going to stop sharing here really quick. Give me 1 second.
Yes, I don't understand what a pixel is or how to create it. So a pixel is basically, it puts some code onto your website so that Facebook can see the demographics and information about people who are visiting your website, and then it can create kind of those really specific audiences based on who already, again, likes your content and it resonates with them. So it allows for that very specific targeting. It's quite magical. It's a little bit creepy because you can tell a lot about the people who are visiting your website or your Facebook page. Yeah.
All right, so I will share my screen again and go through this with you guys. Okay, so Shay, does that look good? You can see Google there? Yeah?
Yes, Google. Got it. I was
Okay.
talking.
So if you go to business.facebook.com, like Shay mentioned, it'll bring up your Business Manager Facebook page. I'm gonna go right into Business Link. All right, so this is your Business Manager main page. If you haven't set up a Business Manager, I really suggest it. It really keeps all your business information and your page information in one place that's easier to use. And like Shay said, you have that specific Facebook support you can contact that will help you work through some of this stuff if you have questions. So I'm gonna go right into Ad Accounts, Business Link Marketing. So this is Facebook Ads Manager. So this really shows what ads we've done, what we've spent, when they're ending. You can adjust the columns to what will work for you. You can do a lifetime view, whatever works best for you, so you can kind of see how you're doing with your ads. We're going to go into create here. As you can see, I was practicing with the sample CF ad. But we start right here. We're going to do a create new campaign at the top here. I'm going to choose my objective. So like I mentioned, you have the 3 funnels here, but any one that you click on will tell you what it's going to do. So it's going to reach more people, or people more likely to pay attention to your ads and increase awareness for your brand. For this one, I'm going to do engagement because Shay and I both love it. So I'm going to do a sample CF ad. You would name your campaign title, whatever you want. And then like we talked about, you can set your budget. So I'm going to do a lifetime budget of $100 for this. The campaign bid strategy I recommend using is lowest cost. Shay, I don't know if you feel differently. You can chime in if you do. And then ad scheduling. I mentioned this quickly, but you can run your ads all the time, or you can run them on a schedule. If you're running them on a schedule, you can set it so it's just during your business hours, so that if someone wants to reach out and contact you, you know they're going to reach you. So we're going to go ahead and hit continue here. Any questions so far, Shay? Good. Okay. So this is in the audience section. So again, I'm just going to rename this sample CF.
So we have one question, Carrie. Sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Is Creator Studio on Facebook Business too, or is it a separate entity?
I think it's a separate entity.
Yes. You would go to Ads Manager.
Yeah.
To create an ad, not Creator Studio.
Yeah. So with creating an audience, we have some saved audiences from what we've done, but if you're starting fresh, you're going to start with a new. And then custom audiences, you can add your previously created custom or your lookalike audiences. Again, we're starting new. So we're going to start with people living in or recently in this location. You have the option of just people living, just people recently in, or people traveling to. So right now it's set to Canada, so we're going to hit 24 million people. We're going to narrow that down a little bit, and let's do Alberta. And for this, we're going to go pretty small. We're going to go to Stettler, just because you know that that's where you want to reach. And you can adjust this to wherever you want. So you can go as little as 10 miles or up. So I'm going to do 25. So as you can see, this reached down to about 10,000 people. That has to do with population, not much else. So we're reaching a small town. That's 10,000 is really good. And then here's where you're going to be in your age range. So this will be based on your target market, but let's do 22 to 35 for this. We'll say that's my target market, both genders. And then demographics, like Shay and I were talking about, you can either do suggestions. So for us, we like to do entrepreneurship or small business. But as you can see, that brings my reach down pretty low for Stettler. So let's stick with small business, or let's stick with business in general. That's going to be about 2,600 people. But at least we know they have similar interests. You can get as narrow as you want in this and really go into interests like they like yoga or kombucha. Whatever you want, you can really target those people. Detailed targeting expansion will allow Facebook to use their algorithms to target more people if it's going to improve the performance of your ad. So just clicking that, I went up to 3,400 people. Here you can change languages if you want to attract people who only speak French or anything like that, or people who have connections to your small business already, you can do that. So I'm going to save this as a sample audience so that I can use it again in the future. And then placements, like Shay said, using automatic placements is the easiest way to go. Then you don't have to do any other thinking. Facebook will use their algorithms to place your ads in the right spots at the right time. We want to optimize this ad for engagement. We're going to use the lowest cost bid strategy, which doesn't have cost control. You can use cost control if you want to really have more control over how your budget is spent, but I think the lowest cost bid is usually the easiest to use. So let's say I want to run this for a week. So I'm going to do 3 p.m. on May 1st to 3 p.m. on May 8th. Now I know my ad's going to run that time. We haven't set spend limits. We're just going to let Facebook do its thing. We know that it's not going to go above $100. We're going to leave it like that. And you get charged on the impressions. So that's when someone sees the ad. I'm going to continue. This is probably the most important part here. This is where you're going to create your ad. So in Creative, I'm going to just quickly create a new post. You can use existing posts that you want if you want to add, sorry guys, if you want to use a post you've already done, but I'm going to create something brand new and I'm going to add an image. I'm just adding the title from this PowerPoint that we're doing today as my image. It wouldn't be something I would typically use for an ad, but we're just kind of going through it. And then your primary text, this is where you're going to showcase what you want to talk about. So I'm just going to say, join us for our webinar. And then you want to keep this part short and sweet. Yes. So you don't want like a novel of text. You really want it to be concise as possible. I think they recommend less than 90 words. Is it? Yeah.
Carrie?
Yeah. And you want it to be like, our spring sale has started or whatever, just so really quick so someone can get that information as quickly.
Yeah. Or get 10% off if you purchase something from Mother's Day, something that'll draw them in that is really concise. We do have a question here, Carrie.
Yeah.
So these ads will only reach people who've entered, I guess, will these ads only reach people who've entered or updated their interests on Facebook? I don't think I've updated mine since Facebook started, or does Facebook make assumptions based on visited pages and posts? Yes. So Facebook knows everything. Facebook can tell by even kind of other sites that you visited or what, like the common content that you're consuming, or even kind of the places that you go, to be honest with you. If you have Facebook location tracking, they know kind of, the stores that you visit and the locations that you visit. And so it uses all of this information to kind of tag your account with certain interests.
Yeah. For example, I've been adding string lights to my backyard. And now I am seeing so much backyard decor posts on my Facebook and ads. So it really knows exactly what you're thinking about. And it's creepy, but it's great if you're a business owner and you need to target these people. You can also be way more broad if that's something you want to do and target a more broad audience. You don't have to go really far into those interests as well. And then that button that Shay talked about, you can do shop now, send message. We'll say learn more. And we want it to go to a specific URL. I'm going to link back to the business link events page so that when they click that, it'll bring them back to our events page and they can go ahead and buy tickets to our next event. So as you can see, we have our Facebook pixel on. So this is going to show us these conversions, how many people are actually clicking this ad and where it's going. And that will give us a lot more information for the next time we need to run an ad in Stetler and how we're going to adjust our ad strategy with that Facebook pixel. So next you would click confirm. I'm not going to because we don't want to run this ad. But that is kind of the easiest run through of how to make a Facebook ad. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add on that, Jay.
No, I think that if there's places where Facebook is kind of making a decision for you and you're a little bit unsure, let them make that decision for you, right? The automatic ad placements, that stuff, they have it pretty well set up to make it as easy as possible for you. There was something that Carrie unclicked at the top. For us, it auto checks off that it's a political post or something of the like. We just uncheck that.
A political or social justice post.
Yeah, so hopefully that won't show up for you, but if it does, just unclick it and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Sorry. As long as you're not doing political posts, I guess.
Yeah, it's just they don't want you kind of boosting that or promoting political posts. So I just checked that, didn't even say it. Thanks, Shay.
Yeah. So I guess, does anyone have any questions about that process or about anything else that we've talked about today? I really do recommend just diving into it. Just like, you know,
play around,
create one and play around, monitor, see what happens. What if it is political?
I can say something? Could I interrupt?
Yeah, please.
Well, you guys were really amazing. You really showed it nicely, and I'm very impressed. And it's nice, like my third kind of Facebook thing that I did, and this is the only one I learned from. I learned digital marketing, and even in the digital marketing, they didn't go into it like you did, and you really, really impressed me. I'm very proud of you guys, and thank you so much for doing it.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad it was helpful.
You. We appreciate that. Yeah. We did have a question, what if it is political or social justice? I do diversity and inclusion work. So you can still run those and boost those. What'll happen is that Facebook will probably want you have to get kind of further approvals for that. So it wants, so what happened with me, for example, is that I got, and it'll send you through this process, but you'll have to, they'll send you a letter in the mail with a code on the letter that you have to input into a certain area in Facebook, and then it'll also have you upload a picture of the front and back of your ID. A lot of this came up with election time, and there was a lot of sharing of misinformation, and a lot of accusation of, let's say, Russia interfering with the election in the US. So they want to just know that you actually are a resident of where you say you are, and then it'll just have to go through a bit of more of a review process, but it is definitely possible. And as long as what you're trying to boost or the ad you're trying to create isn't overly controversial, it should get approved. There's just a few more kind of hoops you have to jump through.
Yeah, and you'll see that with like if Calgary Pride is promoting something, that will go through. And once you do those approvals, it will you kind of have that going forward. So it's a one-time process, and Facebook is pretty quick. So you can get through that pretty quickly.
The slides of this presentation will be shared. Yeah, we will share the PDF slides of the presentation. Great. Should I boost a post when I've just started my business, or wait till I have more products on my page for purchase and use? I would boost it. I mean, I'd say if you have the budget now, boost it now, right? And you can get more people to like your page so that once you have those products on there and you're really kind of in the momentum of things, you already have people who like your page and who will see what you're posting. Would you agree with that, Carrie?
Yes, I was just gonna say, the sooner you can start building that engagement, the better. So yeah, boost as soon as you want. Facebook is, it's a whole other beast, but it's really just to get more eyes on your business at the end. So I've never had any issues with any of that. So I'll add you once you press confirm. Yeah, they do review ads to ensure that there's no slander or anything like that. But the review process for anything that's political or social justice is a bit longer, is all that.
Yeah. So all ads are reviewed, and if you want to boost or create an ad kind of immediately, I will warn you that there can be a bit of a lag time, especially right now with the COVID situation. They're having a lot of people have time to work on their business and they're not sort of in their business as much. So there is a little bit of a lag time, but I would say most of the posts that we try to boost are reviewed and approved within 24 hours.
Yeah. I always do that, kind of trying to set my ad up at least 24 hours before so that I can kind of know, okay, by tomorrow it'll probably be approved and start going. So So if there's no more questions, your next step. So we kind of are challenging you. Set up your Facebook Ads Manager and set up your first Facebook ad. Boost your first Facebook post. Try this all out. Like we said with the budget, you can keep it pretty low. So you can kind of play around a little bit and test out and see how it works for your business. And then set up your Facebook Pixel account. This will take a little bit more time, but it's not hard and it's so beneficial to your business and the information you get back from there.
Absolutely.
Right. So week 4, our final week. So Facebook tools to build your business and how to measure the success of your Facebook marketing efforts. So we're going to talk a lot about analytics next week. So we'll cover some of the key tools available on your Facebook business page and how to use them to build and grow your business. In the second part of this online session, we're going to show you how to measure the effectiveness of your social media efforts using Facebook Insights. And there will be an opportunity to have any of us answer your questions as well. Setting up multiple ads for a full week or so. So Terry, we're not going to talk about setting up multiple ads because it is really the same process. You just kind of go through it several times. But yeah, you can set up, we have a couple ads running typically at one time. So you can really set up, if you have an event for your business and a sale, you can set up both of those things at once. You just do separate ads.
And you can duplicate ads. So if you want to, let's say, try 2 different ads and see, let's say that you record 2 short videos and you want to see which one will perform better, you can kind of create one and then duplicate it and then just change the image, right? Or you can duplicate one and just change some of the copy, or if something is changed with an ad, again, duplicate and then just change what you need to change. But you do have those options too. Does that kind of answer your question? And you can always unmute yourself if you want to just ask the question, but
yeah.
Okay, great.
That's right. Okay. So feel free to contact us. We have our strategists available. They're working every day during the week to help small businesses through this pandemic or as they grow. Whatever small business support you need, BusinessLink is here to help. So you can call us at our toll-free number that's listed there, or email us at askus@businesslink.ca. I also really encourage you to sign up for our BusinessLink Connector, which is our newsletter. We get a lot of great information every week there, and also showcase some webinars that we think are really beneficial. So we've got a lot of great information in there right now, all the time, I think. And then you can follow us on social media as well. That's where we place all our events, and you can see how our ads are running.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Yes, we'll see you next week.
Thank you.